What's up, YouTube? So before we get started with this video, on Get Up, they're going to be talking about should the San Francisco 49ers think about trading Jimmy Garoppolo to the New England Patriots for Tom Brady? So let's see what they have to say about that.
I think I would rather go with Tom Brady because of what he's able to do in a big moment. But I think we could also find many throws that Tom Brady missed throughout the course of this year also. He's not as good as he was at his peak. But the reason why, if I were San Francisco, I'd make that move because it's a way to build your team where you're putting the pressure on the best asset you have, which is that coach. And I think that you keep Garoppolo if you think you can't find someone better after Brady. I think what Kyle Shanahan has shown us is that he can be outstanding with any quarterback. Like, he's had top 10 offenses with guys like Matt Schaub. He won an MVP with Matt Ryan. So I think that's part of the reason why you make the move, because I think that he could possibly do this with Nick Mullins in the future. You go with Brady now. I mean, Nick Mullins was balling. He was balling in that situation when Garoppolo got hurt. So I think it's more of a vote of confidence in Shanahan than it is disrespect to Garoppolo.
Yeah, so I'll pour some more.
So I would go with Tom Brady with this, even though it appeared that he didn't have such a good year last year because he didn't go to the Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl, even though he made it to the playoffs, even though he had one of the longest winning streaks last year, and even though he had no weapons. He had absolutely no weapons last year to do anything with. So if he goes to the San Francisco 49ers, I would definitely have a problem with that because that means he'll be able to retire in his home state. And even though I'd like to see him retire as a Patriot, but I wouldn't have a problem if he came over to San Francisco. And two, he'll have a heck of a lot more weapons in San Francisco than he did when he was with New England last year. So, I mean, and if you mix that in with the stellar defense of the 49ers, that's the perfect recipe for Tom Brady to do some serious damage with the 49ers. So let's continue.
Water on this. I've spoken to multiple people, including somebody over in San Francisco this morning. I'm told it's highly doubtful he's going to San Francisco. Now, they say never because free agency gets crazy, but they're all in with Garoppolo. There's really been no rumbling over there at all. The Niners are in the mix for the Patriots, for Tom Brady.
They're all on Jimmy Garoppolo until they get a phone call and you look down and it says Tom Brady on there and you pick that thing up.
Would he be calling and like, hey guys, anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, so if you have a chance to even remotely get Tom Brady, you definitely have to take that in consideration. But I can understand the San Francisco 49ers would like to just keep Jimmy Garoppolo and just work with him because Jimmy Garoppolo, he's not a trash quarterback. He's actually a pretty good quarterback. So his overall record is he's 22-5. And he went to the Super Bowl last year, and he beat some of the best teams in the league last year. He beat Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints, and Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. So he's a good quarterback. I just question his passing ability and his abilities to close out a game. Although we did see him do that last year in the regular season, but I just have a problem with what happened in the Super Bowl with him. Those are not his strengths. But on the other hand, I can see how they would want to go possibly with Tom Brady because Tom Brady's kind of a sure bet. He's been there before. He knows how to win. So, I don't know. Whatever the 49ers decide to do, I think that'll be a good choice. So, let's continue.
Is wild, but I think the point either way, even if it's not with the 49ers, and I know the answer to this, but Neek, a Super Bowl is worth it, even just one, to get Tom Brady for 2 years and lose out on a guy that you could sign for a longer term deal, 10 years, however much it could be.
Football is a risky game. Like, playing football is a risky game. So I understand why somebody would want to take the risk of mortgaging your future to win a Super Bowl right now. If you think Tom Brady, if he's just a little bit better in those key moments, then I think it's worth it.
You look no further.
So Tom Brady's a little bit more than just a little bit better than Jimmy Garoppolo, at least when it's crunch time. So definitely, I mean, it's kind of like what the New England Patriots. It's kind of like what the New England Patriots did when they got rid of Jimmy Garoppolo and just kept Tom Brady. So they went to 2 Super Bowls and won one of those Super Bowls, while Jimmy Garoppolo has only been to 1 Super Bowl and lost 1 Super Bowl last year. So it wasn't a bad choice by the New England Patriots and keeping him. So it'd be kind of the same thing. Do the 49ers want to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo? And if they have a chance, get Tom Brady? I'd probably go with Tom Brady because Tom Brady is more of a closer than Jimmy Garoppolo is. Like I said, Jimmy Garoppolo's a good quarterback, but I question his skills to close a game out because I bet you if Tom Brady was on the 49ers last year, he would have closed out that game when they were up by 10 points in the fourth quarter, and the 49ers would have won that game if Tom Brady was there. So, I don't know. Let's continue.
than the Jacksonville Jaguars, man, Blake Bortles. They were a half away from going to a Super Bowl. They stick with Bortles another year. They try to run it back. The thing goes off the rails. They bring in Nick Foles. He gets hurt. And now all of a sudden you're talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars and also ran in the AFC South.
Poor Jimmy G. You're saying he's Blake Bortles.
I'm not saying that, but the window is so tight and so fleeting.
Sometimes you have to look.
So, I mean, yeah, you can kind of say that, Jimmy Garoppolo is not the best of quarterbacks. But like I said, on the other hand, they went, 14-2 last year? Went to the Super Bowl, although he lost. He beat up Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, and Russell Wilson. So he's a decent quarterback, but at the same time, I just forgot what I was going to say. So let's continue.
Look at the things that happen. Look no farther than the final plays or the final minutes of the first half of the Super Bowl. Forget the second half when he missed those throws that you're talking about. But the way Kyle Shanahan coached the end of the first half of the Super Bowl demonstrated that he himself didn't trust his quarterback. You think he's not trying to score in that situation with Tom Brady?
Oh, he absolutely is. And we could go back to the interception that Garoppolo threw with his eyes closed. Like, that's not something Tom Brady throws that away or takes the sack or something. Those decisions in those big moments are magnified. And Brady's a guy that we can trust to consistently, routinely make the right decisions and the right passes in those situations.
So definitely you can trust Tom Brady to take care of business in those type of situations. But I don't want to put all the blame on Jimmy Garoppolo for what happened last year in the fourth quarter in the Super Bowl. So I think a good portion of that has to go to Kyle Shanahan, because Kyle Shanahan was calling some terrible calls. You've been getting by having your running game take care of business, and then while you're up 10 points in the fourth quarter, you decide to start throwing the ball. And throwing the ball with the guy that you don't have the most amount of confidence in throwing the ball, that just doesn't make any type of sense. So some of that has to go to Kyle Shanahan, because Jimmy Garoppolo is only running the plays that he's told to run, even though he can check out and all that. But he was told to do that. So that some of that goes to Kyle Shanahan. And then the other part definitely has to go to Jimmy Garoppolo, because, I mean, look, you're a professional quarterback too. You're at the Super Bowl, so you have to do your part. The defense can't do everything. You have to do your part and get those first downs, get the conversions, so you can keep that clock going and get put up some type of points up on the board, even if it's a field goal. So, I don't know. Like I said, it goes both ways with Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo. So, let's continue.
They know is Garoppolo. They feel like just 1 year as a starter, they saw a ton of good things throughout the year. They think he's going to get even better next year.
Well, they do. They have reason to think that. All they've done is win. All he's done is win anywhere he's gone and whatever.